Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into how you can improve your relationship in just 24 hours by making small yet impactful shifts in your daily routine.
I'm excited. There's a wealth of practical advice in this content, right?
Absolutely. It's all about harnessing research to shift that balance of positive to negative moments by adding more
hmm
positivity and reducing negativity in our daily interactions.
Right. And it's interesting how our natural tendency is to focus on the negative. But this idea pushes us to actively notice and celebrate even the tiniest positive gestures.
Exactly. For instance, one of the tasks suggests that every day you take a moment to notice and express one positive thing about your partner, even if it's something small. It builds that positive ratio, which is key.
That makes sense. And, the research by Gottman really emphasizes how crucial that ratio is in maintaining a thriving relationship, right?
Yeah. Yes, Gottman's research shows healthy couples move through life with many more positive moments, which naturally creates more resilience during conflicts.
Speaking of conflicts, the content also introduced a really useful tool, the 24-hour rule when it comes to emotional triggers. It's like, taking a pause before responding in heated moments.
Right. It's like giving yourself that breathing space to cool off and evaluate your emotions before you dive into what could be a full-blown conflict.
Exactly. So it's not about bottling up feelings, but rather giving time for proper reflection and self-understanding before discussing it further.
Precisely. It's about engaging in soothing activities and some self-reflection to pinpoint emotional triggers so your reaction doesn't inadvertently hurt your partner.
It really puts into perspective how important communication is. And that takes us right to the next big topic: effective communication techniques, especially active listening.
Yup, the idea here is not just to listen, but really to hear your partner. It's about truly putting yourself in their shoes
Right.
and
hmm
summarizing what you hear to make them feel validated.
That sounds essential because if a partner doesn't feel heard, the conversation can spiral into frustration and further disconnection.
Exactly. Active listening is about pausing your own narratives, asking clarifying questions, and validating their feelings. It's such a simple yet profound practice.
And there's also the concept of sharing your own feelings using a gentle startup, saying, I feel, then about what, and I need, which almost feels like a mini script to keep things calm.
Yeah, it's like setting ground rules for vulnerability, a roadmap for healthy communication. But here's a challenge. Sometimes it can feel a bit too structured for some couples who might prefer a more free-flowing conversation.
I get that. While the structure helps avoid blame, there might be moments when spontaneity is valuable.
True,
Still,
though.
having these tools can be the difference between escalation and a constructive dialogue.
Absolutely. And then there's the idea of having regular couples meetings, weekly check-ins to celebrate what's working and address any issues before they snowball.
Weekly meetings, yes. That's like having a mini retreat for your relationship, where each partner gets a turn to share appreciations and concerns, allowing both sides to really feel engaged.
It's a simple, intentional act that builds intimacy over time. Plus, the content highlights a neat tip. Ask your partner, what is one thing I could do next week to make you feel more
Yeah,
loved?
exactly. I love that because it really circles back to personalizing your connection. And speaking of connection, the idea of nurturing bonds is also discussed through attentive gestures like a 20-second hug or a 6-second kiss.
Right, those brief but powerful moments help release oxytocin and really solidify that loving bond. It's the kind of thing that makes you feel connected, even on hectic days.
And it's there to remind us that sometimes physical touch or a simple, affectionate act can say more than words.
Yes, and that segues wonderfully into the topic of understanding love languages. People give and receive love differently, be it through words of affirmation or acts of service, and recognizing that can transform your relationship dynamic.
Exactly. If you're showing love in the way you prefer to receive it, you might not be speaking your partner's love language. Asking them how they'd like to be shown love can clear up a lot of misunderstandings.
Definitely. It's sort of like tailoring a suit. It has to be custom fit to their needs, not just off the rack, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And when conflicts do arise, the guidelines encourage what they call fighting fairly. That means avoiding criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling.
Yep, by keeping the focus on our own feelings and needs, we avoid attacking our partner. It's all about taking responsibility and sometimes even taking a break if things heat up too much.
I like that point. It really emphasizes a self-reflective approach to conflict management rather than trying to win an argument.
Exactly, and there's a lot of advice on rebuilding trust too. It's about making decisions from a we, not a me, lens. So instead of complaining about little annoyances, try to find small ways to show your partner you've got their back every day.
I see that. It means that even if it's something as simple as doing a chore you dislike because you know it matters to them, you're building trust and connection.
Right, it's like choosing to contribute to the relationship's foundation consistently, rather than just focusing on your individual needs.
And then there's negotiating differences. We all have our unique values, and it's inevitable you'll have disagreements. The advice here is to approach that with curiosity about your partner's values and needs, right?
Exactly. Rather than getting entrenched in your positions, ask questions, understand their perspective, and then work together on a compromise. It's a win-win if both partners feel respected.
That really hits home. In a way, the entire approach is about building a partnership where ongoing dialogue and self-care are intertwined.
Precisely. Speaking of self-care, the final tip is that each partner should also dedicate a little time for themselves, be it physically or mentally, because if you're not well, your relationship can take a hit.
Yeah, these little daily tasks really add up, creating a healthier relationship environment overall.
It's kind of like a garden. You need to water each part of the relationship, communication, trust, intimacy, self-care, to see it flourish.
That's a great analogy. But if I might respectfully challenge one point, sometimes it seems overly optimistic to think every relationship can be dramatically improved in 24 hours. What do you think?
That's a fair critique. While the title suggests dramatic change in 24 hours, really it's about kickstarting behaviors that have a cumulative effect over time, rather than a complete overnight transformation.
Agree. Exactly. So it's more of a launch pad than letting consistent small efforts build up lasting improvement.
Spot on. And with the support of tools like the Gottman Relationship Advisor, Coach, or even workshops like the Art and Science of Love, couples have a roadmap and resources to navigate these changes.
And by investing in these evidence-based tools, couples are essentially reinforcing the foundation of their relationship, which is pretty empowering.
Indeed, it's all about intentionality, small daily gestures, reflective pauses, and genuine communication combined to build a resilient relationship.
Right, exactly. This conversation definitely makes me want to incorporate at least one of these tasks tomorrow morning, like the simple act of expressing gratitude.
That's the beauty of it. Every small action, from a thoughtful compliment to a mindful pause before reacting, can set you and your partner on a healthier, happier path.
Well said. It really demonstrates how simple tasks, when practiced consistently, compound into meaningful change.
Absolutely. Each positive moment counts, and over time they create a robust network of trust, intimacy, and understanding.
Thanks for walking through these tips. It's clear that a little intentional effort can go a long way, even if change doesn't happen overnight.
Exactly. It's all about the journey, one step at a time. Thanks for the engaging chat, and here's to building more positive relationships.
Cheers to that.